Good morning. I'm Michelle Waters, a member of the Pastoral Care team here at Mount St. Francis Center. Today we welcome all of you present here at Clare House Chapel, and especially Sister Monica's sister-in-law, Mary Lou, and her nephew, Bill. We also welcome those joining us via live stream and on the in-house system. We gather today to honor and remember the life of Sister Monica McMahon. Let us begin by singing together number 445. For You Are My God, number 445. We will sing verses 1 and 2 now, and 3 and 4 at the end. Let me begin by stating the obvious. With one look at Sister Monica or her room here at Clare House, it was clear to see she took pride in her Irish heritage. She even claimed to be a member of the FBI, that is, a full-blooded Irish woman. Sister Monica retired 28 years ago due to health issues. At the time of her retirement, she was a respiratory therapist in Racine, Wisconsin. She enjoyed her health ministry, being a part of the team there and helping others. Sister Monica was an easygoing person and very willing to help others both on and off the job. She loved to tell the story about her connection with the Cruz family in Racine and how providing care for Mrs. Cruz created a lifetime friendship with their family. Sister Monica's life drastically changed when she became ill and was not expected to live. She came to live at Holy Family Hall at that time, And then, for 28 years, those who knew her witnessed her acceptance of her illness and limitations. She lived with a trust in God, knowing that whatever happened, she would be okay. During these years, she thoroughly enjoyed living, having many good laughs, playing plenty of card games, and polishing her rocks. Even this past week, as death approached, Sister Monica again was accepting of the journey that life brought to her and trusted that God was with her in it all. Living with a trust like that, I bet her Irish eyes are smiling today.
This reading is adapted from St. Patrick's breastplate, a prayer of hope and help in adversity. I arise today through the strength of Christ's birth and his baptism, through the strength of his crucifixion and his burial, through the strength of his resurrection and his ascension, through the strength of his descent for the day of judgment. I arise today, though, through the strength of heaven, the light of the sun, the radiance of the moon, the splendor of fire, the speed of lightning, the swiftness of wind, the depth of the sea, the stability of the earth, the firmness of rock. I arise today, though, through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's shield to protect me, God's host to save me. I summon today Christ to shield me, Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right and on my left, Christ when I lie down, Christ when I sit down, Christ when I arise. Christ in the heart of everyone who thinks of me. Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me. I arise today through a mighty strength, the invocation of the Trinity, through belief in the threeness, through confession of the oneness of the Creator of creation.
Now is our time to share memories of Sister Monica. Please raise your hand and we will bring a microphone to you. Please stand if you are comfortable and state your name before speaking.
I am Sister Caroline Bertie. I lived with Monica in Emporia, Kansas. Monica was very well respected in her community there. And she was also a very skilled worker, as was mentioned. She was a respiratory therapist. And she was also noted for, she loved a good joke and a hearty laugh.
I'm Sister Mary Claire, and two things that I remember about her is when she had that health problem in her seeing, the sisters of St. Francis from one place called me, the ones that operated the hotel, or the hospital, and they told me that they were very sorry that she died. She was a wonderful person in their hospital, and that they would pay for all the expenses connected with that injury. So I was grateful. We Franciscans, whom I'm talking about. The other thing about her, all her green in her bedroom, I don't know if you know the story, but she told me once that when she was working at the hospital, one family needed somebody to stay with their mother overnight. And she agreed to do that. And that family from that time on kept sending her gifts, always something green.
I'm Sister Kathy Lynch, and this is about her vocation. Once she shared with me that, I'm not sure of the places, but she said growing up that the BVMs taught her. But she had the Franciscans in summer school or vacation school. And she said that's what sowed the seed for her vocation. And then when she got to high school, I guess she had, I don't know if it was Lamont, but anyway, she said Marici was the one that influenced her to come to community.
I'm Sister Anne Marie Dunn, and this is from Jim Cruz, her good friend. My dear sis, when I think of family and how blessed I am, you are at the top of the list. As my mom's cohort, caregiver, confidant, spiritual advisor, and friend, you gave her the ability to not only stay at home, but most importantly, enjoy life. She enjoyed and looked so forward to you coming to the house, and later to St. Catherine's Infirmary. A loving bond of friendship, family had been established, thanks to you, sis, and your beautiful ways of practical, unpretentious faith and fellowship. The day before my mother's death, we spent the day together and sat in the chapel, and I listened to my mom talk about life and the hardships that she endured, some of which I had not known, but more so about the blessings that the Lord had bestowed on her. Your name, with many smiles, was brought up over and over again. She loved you so much and was so thankful that you entered her life just at a time when she needed to be surrounded by faith, friendship, and unconditional love. Getting to know you, sis, and your family, especially your sister and your close relationship with her, was special. You are so unlike any other nun I've ever met in such a good way. Spiritual in your love of and actions of faith and mercy makes you perfect for the devotional profession of which you were called to do. Your St. Patrick's Day parties still are the topic of conversations when I get together with Barb and others that were in attendance. These parties were legendary for fun and fellowship. Your Las Vegas trips and trying to find you in the middle of the night was a hoot. Your comment when they found you was, "I came here to try my luck. I can sleep anytime." It was priceless. I know things have not been easy these last few months, but know you have and do make a difference. Your unconditional love and respect of others is what Jesus tells us all to do, and for you it comes so naturally. I'll continue to pray for you and know I have your back. Love you much, Jim.
Hello, people. I am Sister's sister-in-law, and she was loved to laugh, but not at you, with you. And I have to tell one incident when she came out to our farm, and we were trail riders. We loved to ride, and we needed the horses for the cattle anyway. And she wanted to ride, so we got her all ready and on the horse, and away she went, right in her habit, with it flying all over. And my husband, who's gone now, said, she reminds me of those Arabian Nights. But I always thought the world of her. She was always kind and thoughtful to me. And I loved her, and I'll end this off.
I'm Bill McMahon. I'm Monica's nephew. There was 9 in our family. This is my mother. 6 boys and 3 girls, and we were with Monica when I was born till in 12 or 13 quite often. I was raised with her, and one time she brought 20 sisters out to ride the horses. And 12 sisters. And we had 17 horses at that time. And I recall it was 1971 or somewhere in there. And we got every bridle, every saddle we could possibly rig together. And we got them all on the horses. And they went out in the pasture, and it was so quiet. They came back, and I don't know if someone fell off or not, I'm sure they did, but we pulled it off. Mother, the hardest part was putting them, which one on the right horse. And only we knew that. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up, the thrill and the loudness, they just had a ball. And only Monica could pull that off. So, the other quick thing, remembering, I came in Monday afternoon at 1:30, and she was in and out of consciousness, and I was very nervous. And she came to real clear, and I said, Monica, you have my dad's eyes. And she smiled, and that was it. And then I was rubbing her shoulder, and I was rubbing way too hard. I was too nervous. And she just, as plain as day, says, ouch. So, okay, that's it. This is her family, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm Sister Camilla, and I'm the one that fell off the horse. No, actually, this was a time when it was only Monica and I out there, and everybody was going out to ride, and you ended up giving me a horse that had not really been trained. And you all took off, and there I was, and I went just a little bit, and I got thrown off. I really think I had a little concussion, but finally somebody found out I wasn't there, and they came to look for me. But anyway, I've enjoyed many times with you and with Monica. And maybe one thing most of you don't know is Monica liked to really brag about this, that she was a movie star. When she was in Emporia, they filmed the movie In Cold Blood, which is a true story. And they came looking for sisters because when the real killers came through Emporia, Kansas, they saw sisters walking across the street, and it reminded them maybe if they had some black stockings they could put over their heads when they went in to do their killing. And so when they came back to film, they came to the hospital looking for sisters, and Monica was one of those sisters that walked across the street in the film. I said one time, did you get paid for this? Yes, $25.
I'm Mr. Carol Hemsad. I was upstairs this morning, and our nurse today is Linda Linsman. She said, we used to have so much fun with that Monica. She said, I just had a senior moment, just a second. Can I sit down and come back up later? I know it. I'm sorry, Lois. When this was still back in Holy Family Hall, Virginia Freilinger and Monica were, kind of oblique sort of friends, but good friends to this point that they would pray the rosary together every morning, and if one or the other was late, they would give each other what Linda called crap until they could stop laughing and actually pray the rosary together every single morning. Odd couple, yeah.
I'm Sister Lois, and I have a note here from Dorothy Gray, a friend. Sister Monica was a fun-loving, ready for a party anytime, and always loved laughter. But when it was time to be serious, there was no other better than Sister Monica to help you through a tough time and to share the load. Sister Monica was one of the original members of the Cuba City Area Rescue Squad in 1978. Fast forward to 1981, she became a part of my life. She approached me and said I would be a good EMT and asset to the rescue squad. How do you say no to that comment? So I became an EMT. She helped mentor me. We worked well together. Thanks to Sister Monica, I am still an EMT with the Cuba City Area Rescue Squad. Bless you, Monica. Now you can continue watching over me from your heavenly home.
I'm Nona Meyerhofer. I have a message from Kara and Ryan, a friend. Sister Monica was a joy to work with, not only for the rescue squad, but also as a respiratory therapist. Our mom's name was Marie, thus they enjoyed visits together. Our rescue squad was a tight-knit group, taking very seriously our role to offer aid to those in need, and then enjoying our friendships. Rest in peace, Sister Monica.
I am Sister Janet Hager-Camp, and I am a classmate. In these last years of being with Monica here at Clare House, one of her wishes frequently was, I want to learn to walk, and I'm going to learn today, going to learn this week. Well, then a number of months would pass, and again, I'm going to learn to walk today. And just 2 weeks ago, she said, I want to learn the computer. Now, that was not the first time she said that to me. She said that over a number of times these last years. So, yeah, just recently she was ready to learn to work with the computer. Always had dreams of what to do.
My name is Dorothy Swiniger, and I was in the novitiate with Monica. But this little thought just occurred to me. It has to do with her love of rocks and how she would take, the crude surface of the rock, put them in the little barrel, smooth them out with sand, and make something just beautiful. It might have been her little connection to nature, and maybe even a connection to Celtic spirituality. But I thought, this morning in the Telegraph Herald, there was a little cartoon. This little kid is going on an Easter egg hunt, and he's saying to the partner, these aren't eggs, these are rocks. And the other kid says, do you know the price of eggs these days? But you know, that was a cartoon that Monica wouldn't have understood, because she would have appreciated rocks and how valuable and beautiful they were. Even in her room, she created her own geography, her own space. She was really a very remarkable woman, and I'm pleased to know her just a little bit.
I'm Sister Rosemary Baskey, and Monica was making earrings at one time with some of those rocks. And I still have a few of those that she has made for me. And I just enjoy wearing them. And I also, excuse me, lived with Monica down in Sacred Heart here in Dubuque when she was a housekeeper. She was one of them in the house. We had 24 sisters there, and Monica, I think, did most of the washing for us. But she just did what she needed to do, and I don't know how long she was a housekeeper before she went into this other job. But she was a great lady.
Thank you for sharing your special stories and memories of Sister Monica's life. We will continue to share our memories of Monica in the days and weeks to come. Our closing prayer is an Irish prayer from David Adam. Circle us, Lord. Keep protection near and danger afar. Circle us, Lord. Keep hope within. Keep doubt without. Circle us, Lord. Keep light near and darkness afar. Circle us, Lord. Keep peace within. Amen. Let us close our celebration together singing For You Are My God, number 445. We will sing verses 3 and 4.